Welcome to the Public Access Podcast, the podcast here on the Rusty Diamond Podcast Network. I got the Pandasol guy coming by, but that's not what's important right now. What's important is I have my special guest here. My special guest is Jason Gobeli. Jason, thanks for being here. Apples and oranges between the Pandasol guy coming here and you being here. Both are good, but it's weird. The first time, I don't know, not first time. It took me a while before I figured out what it was. So it's this little guy on a motorbike, and he has a loudspeaker, but I didn't know what it was. So, and I didn't know it was a guy on a motorbike. I just would hear this thing, and it sounds like maybe some sort of, government propaganda thing coming and like driving by and saying this weird stuff. And like, I don't understand what it is. And then I figured it out. Is this guy that is on a motorbike, and he has a big oven that's like, probably like 5 feet tall, like a few feet wide, and they come by and they sell these like cheese rolls for they bake them fresh right there in front of you, and you get them. They're 8 cents a piece, and it's pretty cool. But you are apples and oranges between. Yeah. The guy who brings the rolls and yourself. How are you doing today? Or my side note there.
Well, I am blessed, Rusty. I can tell you that everything is great here in this side of the world.
So, what's going on? It's 5:00 on your side of the world.
Yep, 5:30.
5:30. So, what kind of things do you normally do on a 5:30 on whatever day of the week it is? Wednesday.
Oh. That's good. I pretty much do whatever's in front of me. I've got so much that I've done and so much that I'm active doing that it's no telling what's going to come up during the day. I got my real estate business, my hypnosis business, my neurocommunications business, the books that I've written, and then we have the family at the house. I've been married for 30 years, have 3 kids, a grandkid, and my father-in-law, who's 100 years old, lives with us. So needless to say, my life is full.
Whoa, okay. That's a full house. How, your 100-year-old father-in-law, is he pretty, what does he do? What does he do during the day?
He's a little slow, and he's got dementia. He's like a 1940s Ford that's running a little low on oil, but he's doing okay.
Okay.
20 years ago when my mother-in-law died, I promised her on her deathbed that I take care of her husband and my wife, her daughter, and bottom line is it's been 25 years now, and he's still kicking and going strong, so we're taking care of him.
Whoa. Okay, that's pretty impressive. And so, I mean, you have quite the full plate going on between all that and your businesses and books and kids and grandkids and real estate business and hypnosis business, and I think I've said all those.
Yeah.
There's probably
God's blessed me with a lot to keep me busy. God's blessed me with enough to keep me busy.
Yeah. Is there ever a time when you're not busy? Or do you not know what that is?
Well, since I work for myself, I guess I'm always working and never working.
Very true. Yeah, that's a hard dichotomy there of the, people ask, how much do you work? I'm like, I work whenever I want. And how often are you working? All the time, every day. And it's like,
if you're doing what you love, is it really working?
Probably at least a little bit. But yeah, I mean, if you love it, it's, I don't know. I guess you have to call it work to go and sort of be able to relate to people sometimes and be like, yeah, I'm working. and
I keep productive.
you keep productive. Yeah. So okay. So uh, how'd you get into hypnosis? Where'd that come in?
It's interesting, Rusty, because I'm a big believer that we all experience it one way or another before we learn it or not. We all get hypnotized, driving down the road and just get lost in our mind and stuff like that. And
Sure.
I believe that hypnosis is an advanced form of communication. I also believe that all communication is nothing more than sales, us expressing our wants and needs to the other person. So when the baby is born and cries for more milk or cries to have his diaper changed, that's a sales pitch. Now, eventually, some of us grow older and we learn how to communicate better. And we communicate by saying what we want and asking what we want and expressing our wants and needs and expressing what we believe the other person's talking about. And hypnosis is a deeper level where we do it subconsciously and unconsciously as well.
And so okay, and so then what brought you in then? What got you to
I
say, "Hey,
started
I'm gonna
studying it
go"?
during COVID.
You started during COVID.
During COVID, I started studying hypnosis formally. However, some of the things that I've learned in hypnosis, I've been doing for years when I study people like Norman Vincent Peale, Zig Ziglar, and some of the
Okay.
people who talk about influencing others. Even some of the newer ones like the four quadrants with when I studied that with the mind the name will come to me in a second, but it's the Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, and and Tony Robbins is a hypnotist. I mean,
Yeah.
there's so many all around. So yeah, so it's like that. It goes full circle.
So then, what was it that during COVID, if you weren't, you know, making dancing TikToks or doom scrolling or uh, other stuff? I mean, what were you just thinking? You're like, I just want to become
I
a hypnotist, or
I studied hypnosis. I've always wanted to look into it. I looked into it. I decided let's go for it. I studied it a little bit. I went in that direction, and then I started writing books after I learned a little bit more about what it was.
okay, uh, started writing books about hypnosis.
I have 5 books now, Rusty.
Okay,
The
that
the
is a real
first
tattoo.
Oh yes, that
Okay,
yes,
I saw that in your picture, and I didn't know if that was, and I didn't know if
yeah,
that was a real tattoo. Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't mean
yeah.
to interrupt you.
No, that's okay. I put it right on there. That's my
Okay,
logo.
is that when did you get that?
Once I became a hypnotist and decided I was going to go down that route too. It was a
Okay,
good. It was a good. It's a good symbol of commitment, symbol of what it means, and it brings everything together.
all right, and you're a man who talks with his hands often.
I, I talk every way I can. We communicate with our hands, with our minds, with our expressions, verbally and non-verbally. We all communicate.
Okay, so is that your only tattoo then, or
Yes,
you're the only tattoo you got on the palm of your hand?
yes.
Okay, all right, yeah, that's commitment. That's
That's a
what
little bit
what
of a bold move, isn't it?
yeah. What did the tattoo artist say when you said you wanted your first tattoo to be on the palm of your hand?
He said it might not stick, and quite a few did. They said it's probably going to hurt more and it might not stick. I wasn't really worried about the pain because I'm a hypnotist, so I can knock out the pain. But I was more concerned about it not sticking. But then I said, well, it'll stick because I'll will it to stick. And I've had to hit
Yeah.
it a few times, and it's faded a little bit, and it goes in and out. But it's not bad.
Okay. And so talking about the pain for tattooing. So when you said you were using it to, hypnosis to work with the pain, what was your strategy? Were you like going to like
It's
I don't want any pain, or were you going to like I want
no,
it to
no.
be
I
slightly
knew I knew
dulled
I was
or
going to feel it,
right?
so I made it. I in my head, I imagining it was ice, and it was ice down, and it was coming in like ice, like an ice cold, like when you put your hand in the snow or something like that. But it was real interesting because not only did I hypnotize myself, before I did it, I had a friend hypnotize me, and he did something similar. But then what else he did, which was really cool, and I really appreciated. I mean, it was great instincts for him to come up with this. But what he did was he said, and you will realize that when the artist is putting that tattoo on the palm of your hand, it will be him installing the magic in the palm of your hand.
It's a
So his
blood
art is going
ritual.
to be like putting magic in the palm of your hand. So
Yeah,
I that was really cool because now that I frame it, I do have the magic in the palm of my hand.
right. Anytime you know, I guess forever. Um, so was that where did the symbol come from? How did that work?
I created it.
You created it. Did you know what you were going for there,
Yeah.
or
So if you'll look, you'll see that there's a maze, and the maze is actually it's got the dark, the black, and you know what? Let me see if I can do it this way better. There, that might even be better. And you'll see there's white in the maze, and there's black in the maze, and there's the lines in between, and those represent the choices in our life. And the red line is our lifeblood. That's the actual decisions that we make. We have multiple choices, and that's the path that we take. In the center, you'll notice it almost looks like a eye or a diamond. That represents your inner soul, yourself, your inner spirit, inside, where your faith lies. And if you turn it, you can see it almost looks like an eye. And
okay? Yeah.
and then the blue circle around that is the source, the protection, your God, the universe, that strength within that protects us from our choices. And so we can always go back and find that inner strength. The power of hypnosis.
Okay. I think you. There you go. There you're back. All right.
Pretty cool, huh?
So yeah. So I mean, yeah. That's. I think you're the first hypnotist I've had that's had a some sort of tattoo of that of whatever it may be on yourself, which is interesting.
I'm
And
different than most people.
yeah, which is good, which is probably why you're on this show here. You got to be a little bit different to be on this show. And so, yeah, so I mean, has that ever been, I mean, I guess partly part of an induction or,
Of course,
you
I
know,
could use it as an induction. You can use anything as an induction. I could just
right.
have you look right there on the palm of my hands and just take it. And, you know, as it turns, you can just close your eyes and begin to go. I mean, we can definitely do things. We're not going
Yeah,
to do that now, but we could.
yeah. Okay, so then, uh, with the, I don't know, so like, were you taught with scripts, or did you like what? I mean, what was
No,
your training like?
I'm not a script guy.
Good.
I'm not a script guy. And I'm more than hypnosis because all hypnosis is advanced communication. I like to call
Right.
myself a neurocommunication expert. See, my first book, the one that I pulled up front and I was showing you the logo on, that's Infused Hypnosis, the transformative power of the FFL modality. So the FFL modality is a modality that I created, a healing modality that I created. And then it's in my other books as well. All four of my books, everything that I do has the FFL modality in it.
Okay. And so, did you start writing these books after you got in within like since COVID? I guess is the
I've written them since COVID, but the methods of my FFL modality has been with me for years. I mean,
did
I've
you
been
get
through a
those through
lot.
sales?
it has to do with the past, the future, and living in the present, and healing. And I've been through a lot. My life is pretty much a story. When I was 11 years old, my dad overdosed in the backyard of our house on Thanksgiving Day.
Holy shit.
He
Okay.
was he was 35, and a few years after that, in my teens, I want to say probably around 16, is I started my road with and my battle with the disease of addiction. When I was
Okay.
20, when I was 26, I got clean. And I've been clean since I've been 26. So I've been in recovery since I've been 26. So I've been clean. I'm 64 now. So I've been clean for 37 years. Now, through that time, I've always been in sales because, I've created my own businesses. But during that time, I've been through life struggles, and we're married, we've raised kids. My kids have their issues. We all have our issues. Um, there was a time there where we owned 30 houses in 5 different states, and I was given real estate seminars across the United States. When the market crashed, we went bankrupt for $4.5 million and lost everything we had. So I know what it's like to build. I know what it's like to lose everything, and I know what it's like to re-identify and start from scratch and do it again. So
So what's that really been able to do besides kind of everything, I guess?
I
Being
guess we
able to
redefine ourselves many times in our lives, don't we?
right,
I
yeah,
mean,
if
doesn't
you
it
read
really all come down to identity anyway?
right. Yeah, I mean, yeah, how if you're not redefining yourself, I mean, what are you?
Yeah, yeah. That's how we change. That's how we grow, and that's how we evolve into the next level of where we should be.
Yeah. And so what happens then when you start to feel like you don't need to evolve, or have you gotten to a point where you feel like I'm good right now, or was
Well,
that was that ever a time where you felt like I'm good, and then is that
I,
sort of when it's
I feel like I'm good all the time, but that doesn't mean that I'm not going to change. Everything changes. Every day changes. So my job isn't to get to somewhere where I need to be, because everything in the future is imagination. And my job isn't to be something, result of my past, all that happened to me and all the stuff that I've done and all the muck, all the stuff that's been done to me, all the stuff. I don't have to focus on that. I'm not a victim of my circumstances, because everything behind me is a memory. So if everything behind me is a memory and everything in front of me is imagination, then all I really have is right now. And so my job is to just be good right now and to be right where I'm supposed to be right now and make the best of right here, right now, because that's all we got. And that's the only thing we can change.
remember that, or how do you teach other people to remember that?
My FFL modality works really well because it's based off of laws. So, gravity's a law, the law of gravity.
Sure.
And you don't see it, but you know it exists. You take something and you throw it up and it comes down, right? Boom. Gravity. It's a law. Well, there's laws. There's physical laws. There's chemist laws. There's chemical laws. There's mathematical laws, and there just so happens to be spiritual laws. And I'm a big believer in spiritual laws. So the FFL modality works like this, Rusty. In the future, which is nothing but imagination anyway, many of us get stuck here and today worrying about the future. Fear, anxiety, wondering what's going to have if this happens or if this doesn't happen. And all this stuff ruins our present because we're wrapped into the future. And there's a cure for that. There's a cure for that. And it's a spiritual law. And the focus is faith. Because when we can be grounded in faith, knowing that it's going to be all right, It's exactly the way it's supposed to be. The future is going to work itself out. If I can live in faith, then I don't have to worry about any of that stuff in the future. Now, others get wrapped up in the problems of the past. Man, I can't believe I just did that. That guy just cut me off, man. It's so pissing me off. Or I can't believe she just said that to me, or whatever. Or I just did this, or whatever. None of that. All that stuff that happened from the time I was a little kid on, that's all past. All that's memory. I can't let my memory affect what's going on today. I mean, it's time to grow up and move on, to not play in the sandbox no more. So there's a way to deal with all of that past and all that stuff that can ruin today. And there's a spiritual law, and that's forgiveness. See, because when I can learn to forgive myself and forgive others, it opens up the door to acceptance, and I can accept the past for what it was. That way I can live in the present instead of living in the past or the future. Now, we can still screw up the present in those selfish natures: anger, greed, jealousy, things like that can really screw up the present. However, there's a spiritual law that will make the present perfect, and it's the strongest thing in the world, the strongest energy in the whole world, and that's love. That if I act in love for myself and love for others, it cures the future. So it's the FFL, it's faith for the future, forgiveness for the past, and love for the present. If I can just practice those three spiritual principles, it opens up all kinds of healing. And the cool thing about love is the more that you give away, the more that you get. It doesn't run out. It expands when you express it. So the more you express it, the more it expands, and the more it comes back to you, and the better you feel. And when we love each other, not only do I feel better, but you feel better. The whole world feels better, and everything becomes a better place. So I think if we just learn how to get out of the future by living in faith, not live in the past by living with forgiveness, and stay in the now, acting in love, the whole world becomes a better place, and I become a better human being.
So then, with when someone comes to you, and I mean, is this something that someone will come to you with this part of themselves that they want to work on?
So what's the issue? What's the issue that they're coming with me on?
Right. But then does it go to that? Does the issue that they come, I mean, they come to you with, and then you're like, well, actually, like, this is what it really boils down to. This is that part of the onion that you need to get to. But whatever you're telling me,
give me an example, Rusty.
I mean, I always can go back to the weight loss, which is
Weight
one
loss.
of the
Wonderful. Wonderful. So it's actually really, if we really frame it, it's not weight loss that a person wants. It's weight management that they want. Because if we just lost, we'd evaporate into nothing. So it's really not the loss that we're looking at. It's the management. And so what I see here is that if a person thinks, hey, I need to lose weight, then they're not comfortable with who they are. So there's an issue there. And the issue might have to do with love and learning to love themselves and coming to that point where we can be okay with themselves. And that could very well be attached to something that happened in the past where there's hurt and pain and remorse. And the weight loss could even be attached to something that's used as protection. They think it's safe. Or it could be attached to something of a fear in the future. Maybe maybe this thing that happened in the past might happen to me again in the future. And it could all be attached. So the roots are by coming together with forgiveness for the past, faith in the future, and love in the present, love, internal love, then there's healing.
Yeah, there's a lot that will go back to not being able to be happy with yourself. And like there's a lot of the I don't know a lot, but I think a lot of the I guess yeah, I'm saying a lot. So if
It
I mean a
is.
lot. So a lot of the people that have reached out to me, I mean that's usually a core thing that they don't know that they need to address, but absolutely should be addressed before any of the rest gets taken care of. Because, like you're saying, it's not going to really do anything
Yeah,
otherwise. I mean, you really have to, and I don't know. Some people can get pretty upset hearing that too, and think it's I mean, it's good that if they're coming to us, but as us saying this out into the world, someone might take it a different way. Uh, but
that's okay.
it's on it's on them. But I mean, I think
Well,
everybody
the
should
thing we
be
focus on expands. So one of the keys to getting in a line and getting centered is to get grateful for what we have. Because sometimes we forget. And sometimes things need to be written and reframed. Very often, and I'll find this to be true, and you might find this to be true, Rusty, the thing that people complain about most are their biggest blessings.
like
Complain
what?
about the bills. Oh man, I can't believe I got this so many bills. Man, I got a car payment, I got a house payment, I got this and I got that. Well, dude, you got bills. That means you got things. It's
Right?
time to be grateful. I don't look at it. I look at it as an expression of gratitude. If I'm complaining about my kids, I got to realize, man, the kids might be the biggest blessing I have. What am I complaining about? They're allowed to
Yeah.
be their own individuals. So sometimes we get lost and we think something should be different than what it is instead of accepting for what we got. And happiness isn't not having more or having what you want. Happiness is liking what you already have, being grateful for what you already have. You look at a poor kid who got an ice cream cone, and he's so excited that he's got that ice cream cone for today that he's not thinking about anything else. So we look about what the things that we can be grateful for, because then we can be truly happy.
Right. So I mean, so what do you? I don't know. So it's when someone comes to you, are you, and they start talking about they want they want to do weight management. I think is what you said.
Yeah,
I don't like working with that because it's one it's never that, like you're saying, like it's gonna be something. I'm just like, this is not what we're gonna be doing.
they're gonna
uh
say they're gonna say I want weight loss,
yeah, okay, good, okay,
and they're
and
gonna
then
tell me exactly what's going on. And I'm gonna say you want to feel better about yourself and the way you are, more comfortable in your own skin. And they'll say, yeah. And I'll say, good, we can do that. And I'll even
yeah,
tell them, you don't want to be anorexic, do you? Then it's not about a weight loss. It's about being comfortable in your own skin. And they'll go, yeah, that's it. I'll say, okay, then let's work on that.
yeah,
And
and
that's a whole different page. That's a whole
right,
different look. Like I had someone the other day and they were afraid of making mistakes. So
well
it
then
wasn't, what's that?
I said, then how are you gonna grow?
Well, no, that's not even it. It's the whole problem was the mistakes weren't the problem. The problem was the fear. So all we had to do was redefine what mistakes were, and that there's no reason to be afraid of them. As a matter of fact, we should embrace them because it's our path to growth, like you said. So we
Right.
embrace it. It's a gift. The mistakes are actually a gift.
Yeah, I
They
mean,
help guide us in order to change to become better, and that way we don't have to repeat them over and over again. But if we're
yeah,
afraid of them and we continue to focus on them, they'll own us.
yeah. Failing at shit is awesome. Failing it is the one of the best things you can do. Having things that don't work, like that's like you said, it's a blessing. If things don't work out, and that's
Is it
that
is it
one
really a is it really a failure?
right. Yeah, it's a failure if you want to
I mean,
harp on it for the rest of your life.
how do you
Yeah,
frame it?
you can say, "Woe is me! I have this horrible thing that happened to me, and I'm not going to do anything about it because something didn't want me to succeed here, and that I guess that's it."
So
And then
it can be hard. A child dies, and you say, "Oh my God, I can't believe my child died," and that they can be really hard and really painful. However, when we get to the point that we can be so grateful that we had the child to start with, and that we got to have him in our lives, and have the time that we had, then instead of remorse, I mean, of course, you want them around, but there's gratitude for being able to have them when we had them.
right, and so I mean, what kind of stuff are people coming to you with? I mean, this is it. Do you say, "My name's Jason. This is what I specialize. I specialize in these three
I'm,
things," or something like that?
I'm a
Or are you,
neurocommunications expert. So that's what
okay,
I deal with is neurocommunications. My first book is hypnosis. That's internal, working inside a person. I have a business called Go Under Hypnosis. That's what that's about. I have another business called FFL Neurocommunications. That's external. That's working with others. I've written another book. It's actually my second book was just a quick book that I wrote. It's called Do You Sabotage Yourself Without Knowing It? Then my third book, I wrote for my grandson. It's called How Rocky the Lobster Outgrew His Shell, and it explains the FFL modality to the kids so that they can grow from it very simply. And then my next book was called, this is the FFL neuroscience book. It's called Beyond Sales, the neuroscience of advanced communication. And it has to do with FFL neurocommunications. And Beyond Sales is about dealing with other people and how we communicate and our methods of persuasion and influence in the way that we speak and what we do and how we sound and how we carry the message so that our message is clear. So that's all into FFL communications that I do my seminars and my talking events with. But then I also do it with my last book, and it's the financial. So I have internal with Go Under Hypnosis business. I have the external with the FFL neurocommunications business. And then I have the financial side, which is the real estate neuroscience, which has to do with identity, which has to do with alignment, so that you understand the way money works and so that it flows. And that's called real estate neuroscience. And that aligns up with my solid real estate solutions business. So I have multiple businesses in multiple areas, and the FFL modality flows through all of those books, especially identity books and working with others.
okay. So then, uh, for I mean, so when people are calling you up for the hypnosis part, or if I mean, if it's all, you know, interconnected, I mean, what are people calling you from, or where are they finding you? Like, what are they wanting to? What
Well,
are
you
they
could go
wanting
to my
to do?
website, jasongobeli.com, and it links all my businesses together, and each of their websites are attached to that website. However, um, if someone wants like smoking or losing weight or going through the fear or something like that, they're going to go through the internal side. If someone
So,
wants me to talk to their sales team and train their sales team, or if someone wants me to talk to a group of people, a group of students on how they can do better in life and perform better and become better members of society, more productive members of society, they would go through my FFO neurocommunications business. And if someone's looking to make money and they want to learn how to get rid of the fear so that they make money and do better, then they want to go to the financial side.
I mean, so what? I mean, what are they? If they're coming for like, what are they asking you when they reach out to you? Like, if you have someone that you've never talked to before that says, I saw you do Just the hypnosis part, not the rest of it. I mean, what are people getting a hold of you for?
You name it: smoking, fear, anger, getting rid of resentments, um, better life choices. Um, there's so many different things. Getting rid of the emotional baggage that they've been carrying. There's so many things that people have. Sexual issues. I mean, there's so many things that people go through that they might want help with. I mean, I even hypnotized a guy who wanted to know how to cut hair better.
What did that look like?
Well, we just had to let him know that he was better. And he didn't have to cut it better. He was already better. He just had to get attached to that, and it was more of an identity thing.
Okay.
And it did have the FFL modality in it because I had to connect him to the faith in himself. See, because what was lacking was the faith. If he wanted to cut it better, then he thought there was going to be a problem with the way he was cutting it in the future anyway. So I had to deal with the faith. And I did have to deal a little bit with covering up some of the stuff of the past that was making him think that he wasn't good enough. So so there was some forgiveness stuff in there too.
So, okay, so now you've been doing this for a while. Is there, so, for me, uh, I don't really like doing stop smoking hypnosis. I don't like working with that. That's one that I don't do because it was a first off it got tricky when I started, uh, and I had to revise it because I had people that would start vaping, and then I was like, oh, they fucking they were tricky. They were real tricky right there, and I was not expecting that part to happen. And then, like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of the people that say they want to stop smoking don't want to stop smoking.
Right.
I most of the
Yeah, I
time it's
charge more.
someone
I
else.
I charge more for it, so they're more invested. That way,
Yeah,
they're serious about it, and it's not trying to get the wife off their back.
right. Yeah, I feel like that's what a lot of them ended up being. And then yeah, they're like, okay, well that's kind of a high price, but okay, well there's a lot of people that do stop smoking hypnosis, and yeah, I mean like, but then you can go the whole route of the uh, explaining it to them like, okay, here's how much it costs. Oh, how much do you smoke a day? How much is that a week? How many, all the numbers and like, oh, this is how much you spend a year. Like you can go and get stop smoking now, feel better, and like, where's somewhere you'd really like to go? You want to go
Well, the
on a
real thing is to
vacation.
wipe out the craving. But then once you wipe out the craving, then it's the other issue that I like to work on, and that's a couple issues. One of them is identity. You can't identify yourself as a smoker anymore, so we got to rewrite the identity. And then the other thing is that there's really a love issue there because you know it's killing you. They know. So the question is why are you doing something that's killing you? So what's the real root of the cause? You're okay, man. You're okay the way you are, and you were made to be who you are, and it's okay to be who you are. You can get through it without killing yourself. As a matter of fact, if someone else was doing to your body, what you do to your body, you'd probably want to kill them. So you need to treat yourself better. And so we work on that angle.
What how many sessions do you do for stop smoking? What's
I
kind of
do one.
your what?
Whatever it is I try to do. Look, here's the thing. People say, well, how many sessions does it take? Well, the question is not how many sessions does it take. The question is how quick can we get it done? I prefer to get it done in one. If we can
Yeah,
get it done in one, let's do it in one. The deal is that everybody's different, and if we can rewrite that pattern and change that pattern, let's rewrite that pattern and change that pattern right now. Get it done. The faster, the better, right? So when people ask me to do a session, they say, "Well, how long are your sessions?" And it's like, I don't know. What's it going to take for us to do what we need to do with you? You might be different than somebody else. It's not how long it is. It's not time we're looking for. It's results we're looking for.
Yeah.
So how can I get the results done for you? Matter of fact, faster would be better if I can get the results you want, right?
Yeah, wouldn't you want to be done really quick? And then, like, if you want to stretch it out, like, do you really want to even do this? Because then one of the options, was you can do the gradual, taper off method of stop smoking. I'm like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to like that. That sounds way worse than trying
It just
to.
doesn't work. There's a lot of things that they preach in the medical profession that don't work. Substituting one drug for another for addiction does not work
Yeah,
because it gets you hooked on something else. I mean, how often do you see someone who quits drinking and then all of a sudden they're smoking like a chimney, or they're doing something else unhealthy like gambling, or
that's
acting
that's
out in other manners? So, what's
that's
the root of the cause? Let's hit it at the root, and then the other thing that really just drives me nuts, and it's very common in therapeutic circles. That's why I don't even call myself a hypnotherapist, um, because I don't like the word therapy. I mean, it literally spells the rapist, right? Therapist spells the rapist. But here's the thing: they so often people want to talk about issues, talk it out. You need to talk it out. Talk about what happened. And I'm a big believer that we do not talk it out. The more we talk about it, we talk it in. So we don't want to talk it out. We want to rewrite it so that we see it differently. We don't want to talk it in. We want to, because the thing we focus on, the more we focus on something, the more it expands. So why not rewrite it, change the view, focus on something positive that has to do with that, and so it erases it. It's simple. If you go into a room and the room's dark, the easiest way to get to the darkness is not talk about the darkness. The easiest way is to turn on the light. Because when you turn on the light, the darkness disappears. So I like to focus on the switch, the change, the transformation, and not what the issue is. As a matter of fact, I think that one of the things that we do so often is we ask why. Why am I doing this? Why am I doing that? Why is this happening? And by asking why, we're focusing on the problem. Why is the wrong question. The question is what's happening and how can I change it? So what and how are the questions? Because they focus on solution. Why is problem focused. So the whys don't count. So I hate to ask the why question. Why do we do what we do? Who cares?
yeah,
Really, it's a rabbit's hole. Who cares why it happened? That's an excuse. That's giving us an excuse for our behavior. It's not why does it happen. The question is what can I do to change it and how can I do it? Boom. Those are the questions.
questioning why the behavior is that way, or not focusing on what's going to change it. Yeah, I mean, it's not going to
Here
do
we
a
go down
whole
the
lot
rabbit
for anyone.
hole. Here we
Yeah,
go.
and
I keep doing
what?
this because of this. I keep doing this because I don't care why you're doing it. What I care
Yeah,
about is that you stop doing it. So how can we stop it?
right. And what are you going to do once you stop it? Is that
Yeah.
are you going
What
to
are we
lose
going to do
your?
differently?
Yeah, but I mean, I've noticed this as well. There is some people who, whatever they're doing, whatever they're coming to you with, becomes their identity, and or a big part of their identity. They're like, and then who are they without that?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Absolutely. What am I going to be? I'll give you a great example that's personal to me. Dude, I'm the party guy. Everybody likes to hang around me because I like to party. What am I going to be if I'm not that guy anymore? What if I turn out to be something that I don't want to be? Why, why would I want to do that? And then all of a sudden I'm spiraling down this thing
Rabbit
that's
hole.
taking me, yeah, that's taking me where I don't want to go. Instead, the focus is Jason, what's best for your life? Where do you want to go from here? How do we
Right.
how because each day we redefine ourselves. A smoker, when they say, "Well, I'm a smoker. I've always been a smoker." Well, the past does no longer have to define you. You can forgive yourself because we don't that past is just a memory. We can let go of that and we can move on. That doesn't have to control us.
Yeah. And I mean, if someone isn't that, then also, I mean, they don't get the pat on their back of being like, oh, it's okay. Like that's who you are. Like you get that pat of sympathy, and like not having that safety net of that pat of sympathy. Uh, I think is part of it too. Is part of what's stopping them from wanting to
Yeah, the
go
poor guy's
forward.
stuck and he can't do no better. How
Right.
about how about grow the fuck up and take control of your actions?
Right.
You
And
know what I mean?
yeah, and I think that's what would be, you know, that's the effective way to evolve and uh, progress through your life
Yeah, you
rather
don't have to
than
be a slave to the cigarettes anymore because you're in charge of your life now. You're the
right,
master of your own destination. Starting from now, right now, you can be the
yeah,
master of your own destination.
yeah,
It doesn't have to own you anymore.
right, and it already doesn't, and uh,
Well, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking as if I was talking
uh,
to the.
yeah, no, I got you. I know I haven't smoked for a long time, but I mean that I don't know. It's one of those things like okay, that was something. I wish that you know I don't know. The stop smoking hypnosis was a thing. Like, well, it was a thing, but like, I was very much like hypnosis is bullshit until I got into hypnosis. I thought it was complete bullshit. I thought everything was fake. But you know, I was wrong. So, and that's another thing too. Being wrong is okay. Being wrong is great. It is even better if you can say I was wrong and I learned something. And I don't think a lot of people get to do that or feel ashamed that they were wrong.
It's just part of the journey.
Right. And so, if people are ready to continue this journey and continue this journey with you, how are they going to find you? How are they going to read your books? How are they going to work with you? How do they
If
do
they
all this?
if they just Google Jason Gobeli, just like it's spelled there, Gobeli, I'm going to come up all over the place. You can say my name. You can put it on AI. You can put it on social media, and you're going to find out all kinds of things about me.
Okay,
Go
that's
to Amazon for my books. Go to my websites for. I mean, I'm definitely multifaceted.
yeah, not hard to find you. It's just
Yeah,
simple search on the internet. Talking to your phone if you want. You know, it's pretty easy. Or just down here in the description, it'll be there. So,
nice.
Jason, yeah, thanks for being on today. I enjoyed getting to talk with you and
Yeah,
get
it's fun,
to,
Rusty.
yeah, and I don't want to spoil anything, but we'll probably do
Yeah, we'll
something
be.
else here in the
Oh,
future.
we're going to be talking real soon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right. Well,
we'll be
have a
we'll be
great,
hip, we'll be hypno traveling.
that's right. Uh, have a great rest of your, let's see, morning, evening. Great rest of your evening tonight.
Thanks,
And
Rusty. Enjoy it over there.
thank you.
Okay.
All right. That's Jason. So you guys check out Jason. I am Rusty Diamond. This is the Public Access Podcast. This is back in the studio. I guess it's a studio. It's a studio apartment, sort of. It's a room. But thank you everyone for being here. I really appreciate everyone being here, especially if you're here at the end. Maybe you just started at the end and you're, I don't know. how this shit works. But if you're here at the end and you're listening, thank you so much. I appreciate everyone who's here and checking it out, and I hope that you get something from our conversation, because life's all about the conversation. It's all about coming up with ideas and concepts. That's what this is. That's what you're here for. I want you to take these. I want you to expand on them. We're just giving you jump off points here. You can take it and run with it wherever the hell you want. Fuck it, right? Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Find me, rustydiamond.net. I don't know what else you need to know. Everything's on there. It's my link tree. So that is the show, man. Boom!